I'm Ashwin. I'm from Kerala. So I'm from an upper middle class family. So my parents are they are not from an educated background, but they were educated. So they knew the importance of education. And from my throughout my education career, they want me to study. I'm not interested in much extracurricular activities. My only focus was education. When things about me, some positives of mine are I'm a quick learner. Then that's about me only. My all India rank was 1670 or 90. I was not interested in MBBS first. Uh, my goal was to get into an NIT or IIT when I started my high secondary education. Around the later period of my first year of high secondary, the topics in human physiology they attract me more than maths or physics. And some of my friends and some of my neighbors. So my neighbor of mine, she was studying MBBS during that time. So all those factors uh, made me interested to biology more than physics or chemistry. And yes, after completing my 12th, when I had to decide, I chose I will take a professional course, and then MBBS was my option. I was interested in getting to MBBS. Then I was interested to take a professional course rather than taking normal UG and going into PEC coaching and all. I was interested in taking a professional course. Yes, that's what. Then in my family there was no doctors that time. Always I lend help. So during my initial days, I went to a school with entrance coaching during plus one and plus two during high secondary. The school was along with entrance coaching, but the main difficulty was they didn't coach me biology properly. That was the lacking factor. So that's why uh, and my poor preparation and poor guidance in my first attempt, I got around the marks was around 460 only in my first attempt. Then I took the decision to attempt one more time. And parents were giving me really good support. Saying the truth, they were more adamant, they were more desired than me to get for me to get into MBBS. Okay, and during my higher secondary or during my repeating, challenges was it was a new way of studying. I had to spend more time in studying. Then I have to leave my home to the coaching institute was in another district, so I have to stay in a hostel. That's for the first time when I was staying away from my home, away from parents. So I was their only child. So that was some difficulties, and that's only not much difficulties. Initially, when I was in higher secondary, I thought NCRT books were not useful. I always use some guides and all. Always use some guides and never look at, never I never considered NCRT for my board exams also. I always use notes, everything. But when I started my repeating, I understood NCRT. NCRT is the holy book. NCRT should be the basic, and everything is in the NCRT itself. If you study NCRT properly, you can crack the NEET in the first time itself. But you must be very thorough with the NCRT. NCRT is everything. But the way we study it and the way we approach the text is what makes the difference. MTG was the books I used commonly. Then for physics I used Engage. And then for all the I used some many books that I repeated in a coaching institute, and I had a roommate who was repeating for the second time. So he had almost all the resources. That's from Resonance, Akash, and everything. So I use them all during that time. But the one that found really helpful was MTG and the book of my coaching institute. it's not tricky, but the way they teach us in the schools, they teach us for the board exams, but for the entrance, it is just objective. There's not much difference, but the way we approach it's what makes the difference. The NCRT examples and NCRT exercises, these questions are more than enough to understand these things, but the way they teach us is what's the difference. It's not much difficult, but the way the student understands the thing is the main difference. In entrance, we must know what that means. In board exam, we just derive the formula. Okay, that's it. But for entrance, we must know what's that thing. Okay, what does it implies and where should we use that? And we must understand. Okay, if this formula means this, then okay, the next formula. Okay, we can find another thing. Then we can connect all those things. Even I was lacking in biology during my initial days, but after my proper coaching, I understood NCRT, only NCRT can make you crack the NEET. Without NCRT you cannot crack the NEET. Whatever books you study and whatever videos you watch, you must know NCRT. You must read NCRT how many times you can. If you read 20 times, and if you read for the 21st time, you will find something new. You will find, okay, oh, this after reading 20 times I didn't notice this one. You can find you can find something new every time you read it. So NCRT is the only thing. With the NCRT only you can score around 340 and 350 in NEET. I spend most of my time for biology during that time. So, because during my higher secondary, in my institute, physics was taught very nicely. So, I had a good basement in physics. So, physics was not a big problem for me during my repeating time. Biology was the biggest problem. So, in my institute, there was weekly examinations, and my preparation was based on that. Rather than studying okay on daily basis what they taught, I studied for the exams so that I can cover all the topics properly. So I spend most of my time in that. The topics for the exams will be given 1 week earlier. So if you have the exams on Monday, they give the topic on the on the previous week Tuesday. So I will take 3 days for biology, then next 2 days for physics, then 2 days for chemistry, and last day for physics, and then I revise them properly. Each day I will take only 5 hours, around 5 hours to study. Yes, definitely music and sports can relax, but in my institute we were not allowed to carry smartphones. So the only relaxation was to talk with somebody, to talk with my friends. So almost every day we would spend around 3 to 4 hours just talking to each other. It might be related to the subjects of studying or some random like sports, movies, everything. Because we didn't had smartphones, so we had no access to sports or music. So if we had music, it's very good. But if we carry smartphones, there are no more distractions than relaxations. So I just want to achieve it. That's the main, because there was nobody from my locality who who took 1 year more to crack the entrance. So everyone was looking me. So what would happen to me? So if I had not cracked the NEET exam, then nobody from my family could attempt it. So I should crack it so that some other children from my family in the future can go and attempt it. They can spend 1 more year for the exam. So that then my parents motivation, they wanted me, because if I hadn't cracked, they will be looked in a different way by the society, because they were all the others in the society told my parents to get my admission into some engineering college or some BSc and all, but they were uh, supporting me. They should read the NCRT. That's the main thing. Then they can have they can see the videos in YouTube, which are for free. So they are useful only. There are many channels providing videos for free. Then they can use some books like MTG. Like MTG book was really useful for me. During the first days, I used Engage and some complicated books. But during my later days and closer to the exams, I understand MTG books are so grateful. The MTG had so many books. We had a library, so I could get all those MTG books. Like for the one book entirely for the NCRT, then one had previous year questions. So it's like that. So I had access to all those MTG books, and it was really useful. Those books could help these students also because it had great explanations and it doesn't had complicated questions to confuse us. That ignoring NCRT, that was the biggest mistake I did during my first attempt for the NEET. I just ignored NCRT and then used some Arihan, something like that, some guides only, because it had some points related to some things which was not in NCRT. So I spent more time on that. I just ignored NCRT. But after writing my first attempt, I realized if I had studied NCRT only, I could have got I would easily got some 50 or 60 marks more. But even also that marks won't be enough to get into some college. But I realized NCRT is the holy book. Yes, the preparations need start only after 11th only. I don't recommend them to study from 10th and all. It's just a waste of time and just putting over pressure on the students. If you can start from 11th, 12th, or even you can repeat one after 12th. Okay, before 3 months, in my point of view, before 3 months, you should know what are the topics. At least you know the basic concepts. You should be doing more question papers, and if you're when you're doing some questions, if you're not understanding something, just go and revise the topic. Only the revision and solving question papers should be done in the last 2 or 3 months. Anxiety will always come. So when you're doing some problem and you won't get it, you'll get tense. Oh my god, I studied so many days, I have almost spent 1 year for this and still I'm not getting. Just forget all those things. It's like if you're not getting something, almost 99.9% students won't get that. That's the only solution I had in my mind. If I'm not getting a question during an examination, my mind said, okay, almost everyone will not get it or everyone makes some mistake. That's what I said to calm myself. Then I'll go on solving some other questions. Then I will revise that thing. Okay, next time if the same thing comes, I won't make a mistake. Then distractions might come. Some others, some relatives, some friends, they might make you tense. Just ignore all those things. Then calm yourself. Then stick to your goal and try to achieve it. Lots of topic is revise them. That's a For biology. You should read the text. Even if it's the last day, you should read the text. Without reading the text, you can't score anything in biology. You will definitely get confused during the NEET examination. You should read the text. But for physics and chemistry, you can get some notes, and you can get the formulas only. Then start doing questions as soon as possible. In physics and chemistry, that might help. But in biology, you must definitely read the text and then later solve the previous questions. I was really scared because I had heard so many ragging stories here. And I was really scared when I was getting into this college. Even if the college is around 3 hours from my home, and I'm staying in my hostel, and it was my dream college, everything. But still, I was scared about the ragging issue. But the situation was really different, and the college atmosphere, the approach from faculties, the approach from seniors, everything was really good. I really adapted to the situation very fastly. The seniors are really friendly because uh, they are the ones who help us to study. It's like they also want to share a bond with us because it's a community. The doctors and all those medicos are just a community. Here we have around four or five batches at that time, and uh, throughout our career, throughout our life, we will see these people. So we must share a good bond with our seniors as well as juniors, and even the seniors know that thing. So they never had a desire to just play with us, or they never want to make us feel uncomfortable. So they helped us to study. They gave their textbooks, and they were really friendly. They should prepare for the board exams. That's the main thing. And if you have good marks in board exams, there are many coaching institutes providing scholarship for them. If they have the will and the desire, they can get some materials through free for free in online. And then some resources are free to get. So they should prepare well for their board exams. They should prepare for their first attempt, and with their board exam marks they could get scholarship in those institutes. So that's the only way I because so many some friends of mine, they got into this MBBS through that way. Just go and write the exam. Just don't get bothered about the result. Even if you don't you even if you're not able to crack the exam this attempt, if you have the will, if you have the desire, you can go for it for the next time. You can study some other course during this time. Okay, you can get into BSc. Then still you have the chance to crack it next year. You have the knowledge in your head. If that's only if you have the will, if you have the desire to get into this course, you can get into this.